So my name, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Disha Jolly. I'm a functional nutrition coach and counselor. I started my journey in 2017 doing functional foods, probiotic foods, dairy-free and stuff. And now I provide these foods as well as consultation. I am affiliated with Potenza Wellness. For those of you who don't know it, they have some amazing treatments which I will go through towards the end of the presentation. I'm now going to start the presentation and I'm going to share screen with you for the, okay, so I don't know how many of you are, I don't know how many of you and how much you know about gut health. I've tried to keep this as basic as possible for those of you who have no idea. Couple of things we're going to be discussing is why is gut health so important? Few basic facts about the microbiome, which makes your gut, inflammation and dysbiosis, your gut and your brain, your gut and immunity, your gut and the skin, your gut and hormones. Why is the gut responsible for cravings and obesity? Why is poop important? Gut-related issues, simple ways to fix your gut. And in that, we'll show you a lot of stuff. So why has gut health become so important? 10 years ago, most people had not heard of the word gut health. Today, everyone, at least I know, suffers from some gut health related issue, whether it's acid reflux, bloating, IBS, IBD, or some which you are not sure yourself and they are related to gut health, like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis. So what is the gut? The gut refers to the GI tract that starts from your mouth and finishes at your anus. What does it do? Now, I don't want to get into the whole science, it'll be boring for you, but without giving you every minute detail of the process, its job is to transport the food that we eat, break it down into smaller components so that it can be absorbed and absorbed and used by the body, and whatever is left is waste material the body needs to get rid of. What's the big deal about this? Well, the state of our digestive tract defines our overall health and well-being. A compromised gut leads to chronic ailments and which otherwise might seem unrelated to your gut. Now, some basic facts. We have more bacterial cells in our body than human cells. Our human genes amount to 23,000, while the genes of bacterial origin range between 2 to 3 million. Our gut contains the largest share of these microbes. The gut has its own nervous system, which we'll talk about later, called the enteric nervous system. 75 to 80% of your immune system resides in your gut. Hormones produced in the gut influence eating behavior. Bacteria affects the thermoregulation of their host, meaning you can feel extra cold or extra hot based on what bacteria lives within your body. It takes the gut up to a year to repopulate after a course of antibiotics. The majority of the serotonin is produced in the gut and not in the brain. Okay, so let's shift over to the microbiome. What does the microbiome do? Well, as you can see, you have different strains in your nose, your mouth, your lungs, your stomach, your colon, your sexual organs, and your skin. And as you can see in this slide, sorry, I forgot to put it on. As you can see in this slide, they all have separate jobs. They're very different strains, they do different things. So, have you ever had butterflies in your stomach before a big meeting or a speech or a gut feeling about someone you've just met? These are not expressions that are made up. Your gut is literally your second brain, and that is the enteric nervous system. It sends emotional signals to the brain, suggesting we feel with our guts first. Microbes inhabit virtually all parts of our body, but like I said, our gut contains the largest share. Every body part has its unique combination of temperature, acidity, oxygen levels, and other factors, and which is why you see different strains reside in different body parts and they have different jobs. They can determine how well we respond to vaccines, how much nourishment children can extract from their food, how well cancer patients respond to their drugs, and various conditions including obesity, asthma, colon cancer, diabetes, autism. They're all accompanied by changes in the microbiome. So your microbiome is the very least a sign of illness, if not a cause of it. Now, we've only seen microbes as germs. It is because of that is grossly incorrect. There are about fewer than 100 species of microbes that can cause diseases. The rest mostly protect us. The first microbe appeared on this planet 3.6 billion years ago, and the first modern human appeared on this planet 200,000 years ago. The reason for our gut health, the reason our gut health is so critical is because of two things, our gut lining and our gut parts. You see that hollow tube we call the digestive system. It's a boundary between the inside world of our body and the outside world, the environment. Immune cells, they line your gut like surveillance officers, and their job is to make sure that nothing bad goes in, which is called selective permeability. An unhealthy gut loses the ability to keep bad stuff out, and that is, it becomes leaky, letting all sorts of stuff in. So let's go on to dysbiosis. What is dysbiosis? It's a microbial imbalance in your body. Dysbiosis is the alteration of the microbial community that dismisses a person's essential population of good bacteria and allows the pathogenic bacteria that are normally present in lower amounts to flourish. Now, when the balance shifts, it's called dysbiosis. What does this dysbiosis do? It causes inflammation in your body, the big, tall inflammation. Now, there is local versus chronic inflammation. In the midst of local inflammation, immune cells rush to the site of injury. It leads to redness, swelling, and heat. It's important for protecting your body against threats. So inflammation is not bad. The temperature rises because immune cells function slightly better in higher temperatures. On a larger scale, this is why your body generates fevers. Now, localized infection is a perfect survival response, not the common underlying precursor condition now linked to most common diseases. The real problem arises when it turns into systemic inflammation that affects your entire body. It can linger undetected for a year. Now, why and when does it become a problem? If it spreads throughout the body, if it lasts too long, if it launches at the slightest provocation leading to asthma, arthritis, and many other autoimmune diseases. And once inflammation becomes systemic, it often wreaks havoc. In functional medicine, inflammation is often compared to a wildfire relentlessly destroying everything in its path. Just as local inflammation heats up troubled areas, systemic inflammation literally burns you from the inside out. I think we pretty much understood that gut dysbiosis leads to chronic inflammation, which I'm going to get into now, and that leads to chronic disease. But why does this inflammation happen? Is because chronic disease comes from the gut. Systemic inflammation comes from the gut. So what that means is most of the symptoms and the diseases that manifest in different parts of your bodies, now whether that's your heart or your joints, are really complex consequences of one common problem, and that is gut dysfunction. Now, how does inflammation happen? How does dysbiosis happen? Starts from when you're born. Were you a C-section baby, or did you come through normal delivery? Were you breastfed or were you bottle fed? In your early years, a poor diet changes the microbes within your body. It impairs your immune system. Changing its ability to control the gut microbiome and opening the door to harmful infections that disrupt the communities even further. And once these communities, the bad bacteria, start causing havoc in the gut, the nutrients don't get absorbed, leading to malnutrition, more severe immune problems. Up and up the ball goes until it crests the summit and slips into the next dysbiotic valley. So over the last century, we've graduated into using sanitizers, antibiotics, the modern diets. There's more dust, there's more pollution. All this harms our microbial residents in our body. Here are a couple of conditions related to gut health. The more obvious ones are constipation, bloating, obesity, food allergies, sensitivities, psoriasis, acne. Some of them are not so obvious, like Parkinson's, diabetes. There's acid reflux, obesity, IBS and IBD, even vitiligo, which is a skin condition, cancer, eczema, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, thyroid imbalances. So let's quickly get into the gut and your brain. Like I said, your body has two brains. One is the enteric nervous system, and one is the brain that you know and call your brain. Now, and depending on which types of bacteria reside in the gut, there are messages going to and fro. There's your 10th cranial nerve, which is called the vagus nerve, which relays messages from your gut to your brain and from your brain to your gut. Now, more messages are relayed from your gut to your brain. So what messages go up there depend on the microbes in your gut. And our brain is aware of our gut microbes. These bacteria can influence our perception of the world. They can cause anxiety. They can cause a happy mood. They can cause depression. They can influence your mind far more than you can ever imagine. They also produce neurotransmitters and neuromodulators. So serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all these are made in your gut. More in your gut and less in your brain. Again, antibiotic usage, you can see how it affects your brain later on. If you use it in your early age or if you are used to using it every year, it's eventually going to have an effect on your brain because it's going to diminish the good microbial community in your gut, which then communicates with your brain. So when it comes to anxiety and stress, it works both ways. If you are going through anxiety and stress, messages are going to relate to your gut and it's going to affect your gut. You might get diarrhea, you might get constipation. If your gut isn't well and you're suffering from these conditions, it's going to cause stuff like depression, anxiety, stress. Now, probiotics, a lot of things that help. Probiotics, which are a lot of you might have been prescribed probiotics. A lot of you might be knowing probiotic stuff like kefir, kimchi, kanji, sauerkraut. Prebiotics are some of the fiber that you eat for the probiotic community in your body to grow. So, for example, if I have a probiotic, the bacteria will do its job and leave my body. For me to make that community grow, I need to have the right foods. And when I have the right food, the good bacteria will grow, crowding out the bad bacteria. There is something called FMT treatments. I'm not going to get into that, but those are for people who are really, really suffering and have no way out. The gut is also it's the mission control of our immune system. So when the bacteria are introduced into a newborn, a mucus layer is formed that coats the intestinal lining. This will keep the microbes at a safe distance, but this layer also serves as a rich source of carbohydrates that the bacteria can eat. So by producing this secretion, the gut provides nourishment to help the beneficial bacteria, and these in turn help defend the gut from invasion by pathogens and balance the immune system. So basically, earlier microbiota sets the stage for the effectiveness of this layer and how the infant's immune system will respond to not only good bacteria, but also disease-causing pathogens. So you need this mucosal barrier to function well. Now, the gut microbes, they communicate, the mucosal immune cells that are lining this, they're surveying the gut environment, ready to kick into action. These are mobile, they'll go into your lungs, they'll circulate different parts of your body. And the minute they encounter a pathogen, it can multiply and spread through the body, letting them know that there is imminent danger and it needs backup. So these conversations will help your body distinguish between harmless food particles and stuff like salmonella and other bacteria which shouldn't be in your body. It tunes the magnitude, it also tunes the magnitude and duration of an immune system response. So why does your immune system go rogue? Why does it go from protecting you to harming you? This is because of a loss of a higher order of self-integrity involving our microbiome. Now, the immune system matures in an environment where we do not self-complete and are missing our intended microbiome. Our immune system gets programmed for haphazard, inappropriate responses. Then it's only a matter of what disease shows up, depending on your genes, depending on your lifestyle. So why is it that the immune system in the 1970s was okay? I get asked this a lot. It was okay with gluten, it was okay with peanuts, and everything functioned well, and now it's misfiring everywhere. When one is the quality of the food that we eat, the second also is that the answer lies in how the immune system is trained in early life. What's changed massively is the early life experience of our immune system. What your baby's immune system sees during this period counts, whether it will backfire and produce disease or you lead a healthy life. These can include environmental exposures to chemicals or drugs, intense or persistent maternal or infant stress, If a maturation step is missed or the education of the immune system is interrupted, the entire system of distinguishing friend from foe can go wrong. So what will happen? A failure to react to a real threat can happen from the immune system. It can react with the wrong kind of defense, or it can attack its own tissues, which a lot of us face today, and leading to autoimmune diseases. Sanitizing the environment has now become, even before COVID came into play, sanitization and antibiotics were very common. And the reason they harm us is because they kill our natural microbes. The microbes are on our skin, they're everywhere, and we're killing them. In households with dogs, the children grow up with much better immunity. Kids who are allowed to go play out in the playground, they grew up with much better immunity. There's those who are always, clean with a sanitizer and told to stay away from dirt. Let's go into something I know a lot of people will love. It's the gut and skin connection. Research showed that a significant association between gut health and skin disorders. The skin contains the body's fourth largest collection of microbes, which there are 150 species on one palm alone. We share only 17% of the microbes between your left and right hand. No two people share the same microbial print. So like your fingerprint, your microbial print is also different from even your relative, even from your mother, though it's the closest to your mother than anyone else. Rosacea is a form of autoimmune disease and the most common skin condition in bloated dysbiotic patients. When you treat SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, it resulted in the permanent cure of rosacea in 72% of individuals. 90% of individuals with eczema are colonized with Staphylococcus aureus. It's again a bacteria, and this dysbiotic state mirrors diseases like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Now, how? One issue is diets that are high in sugar linked to dysbiosis and skin conditions. So what happens with sugar is they change the way our body manages carbohydrates. It's called your glycemic control. If unchecked, this leads to excessive glucose in the bloodstream and eventually insulin resistance. In the skin, excessive glucose triggers inflammation and accelerated skin aging. It increases lipid production and bacterial colonization, not by the ones you want, but by those which are synonymous with acne. So as you can see, all this is related. Again, what happens is when your gut is compromised, a lot of nutrients are not being absorbed. And what do you need for skin? You need protein to be absorbed properly. You need vitamin C, E, A, D, zinc, all of these to be absorbed. So if these are not being absorbed, how is your skin going to be good? Now, getting back to the microbes on your skin, the ones on your skin, they produce molecules that counter specific pathogens. They go down breaking fats and other molecules produced by our skin for food, so they can be our strongest line for defense. Remember, in your immunity, the first line of defense is always your skin. So as you can see, your gut, your skin, your immunity, they are all related. These immune pathways involve activation of special T cells, which are immune cells, and we have regulatory T cells, which have anti-inflammatory effects, or you have helper T cells, which will help the other cells in fighting the war inside your body. Now, which is activated depends on the microbes in your body, and which is activated wrongly will get also depends on the microbes in your body if it starts misfiring or if it starts. So you can see from the image below that the Tregs help with healthy skin, and the rest of them, if they go out of control, they cause a variety of skin diseases. Next, quickly, let's look at gut and hormonal health. Again, there's a link between the health of your gut microbiome and hormones. When gut health is not optimal, hormones become imbalanced. For example, there is new research showing that the microbiome plays a huge role in estrogen regulation. These studies indicate that poor gut health increases the risk of estrogen-related diseases such as PCOS and even breast cancer. Imbalanced microbiome leads to hyperthyroidism, and I don't know how many of you have heard of Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition, which depends completely on the gut. Vitamin D3, which is a precursor hormone, is not well absorbed by the body if your gut is not functioning well. It also influences healthy cholesterol levels. It's a precursor for maintaining a balance of progesterone and estrogen. Let's go to obesity and microbiota. And who's craving that sugar, you or your gut bacteria? Obesity is characterized by low-grade inflammation and decreases in the diversity of your gut bacteria. This results in the ineffective harvesting of calories, and your hunger hormone, ghrelin, gets activated. It stimulates your desire for food and your appetite. And this vicious circle causes your body to gain more weight. Now, what about cravings? When you're in a state of dysbiosis, your bacteria is craving the sugar. What happens is you decide, okay, I'm going to try and be healthy. I'm going to try and eat less sugar. But that bacteria craves that sugar, and the bacteria can talk to your brain. So it sends signals to your brain via the vagus nerve saying, I want sugar and I'm dying. And that is when you feel lightheaded, you feel, oh, I'm going to faint, I probably have low blood sugar levels, I need that chocolate bar, but it's not you, it's the bacteria. And if you give it a few days, that craving does go away because that particular bacteria dies and the good bacteria remains. There's a comparatively rare specialized gut bacterium called Akkermansia, which represents only 3 to 5% of gut bacteria. But the reduction of this is associated with the form of obesity promoting inflammation. So whoever has this bacteria, more prone to stay thin. Probiotics do help you in losing weight. It again depends. I am a big proponent of bio-individuality. So there's no magic pill for anyone, but looking at a person's whole history, that's how I work. You would know what to give them, what works for them, what doesn't, what their issues are in reality, and how they're all interlinked. There is an interesting fact, especially for wine connoisseurs. You've probably heard of the aroma of various wines. What is most interesting is most grape chemicals are odorless. It is only after they've been acted on by the bacteria that the odor-producing chemicals are created. So the taste of that wine depends on the bacteria in your mouth, and that varies from person to person. So it does make one wonder whether the special palate of wine connoisseurs is more about their mouth bacteria than about their talents. I already talked about dysbiosis and cravings. Let's talk about pooping, which a lot of people don't like to talk, but it is the most important guide for your gut health. As you can see, this is a Bristol chart which shows you what it portrays, whether there's severe constipation or severe diarrhea. Now, the problem is that it tells us a lot. If it's floating, if it's sticking, if it sinks down, all those are signs of gut imbalances, and they help us a lot when we ask you initially to fill in your food journals and also your habits, your bowel habits. It really helps us know whether, for example, floating means you have fat malabsorption issues. We need to give you digestive enzymes. Sometimes it's an HCl, hydrochloric acid issue. We need to give you either apple cider vinegar or HCl pills. Again, the colors are also, it depends on the color, where green means your food has been digested too fast, yellow means you have difficulty digesting fats, black means you've been taking too much iron, red means you've been eating beets and berries. So all that matters. Again, stress can lead to constipation. It can also lead to diarrhea, and diarrhea and constipation can in turn lead to depression. So it's a vicious circle that you get into. Now I'm going to take you to some solutions. Again, the thing here is it's about bio-individuality. What I might tell you right now might not work for you. It might work for you. It depends, which is why when I see someone, I need to sit down with them and take their whole history to figure out why, what they're going through, why it's happening, and how we can fix it. Let's look at constipation. The causes are food allergies and insensitivities. Intolerance. For example, lactose is an intolerance. It's not an allergy. It's not an insensitivity. Your body is intolerant to it. Leaky gut, which is which is a very big subject. Parasites in your body, dehydration, SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, lack of exercise, lack of good bacteria, impaired digestion, lack of fiber, magnesium deficiency. Now, magnesium is a big one. If you suffer from constipation, a magnesium oxide or citrate will help you, mostly. Medications cause it, stress causes it. What do you do? Increase fiber, increase exercise. These really help. Increase hydration, no processed foods, increase your probiotic foods, remove gluten and dairy, flax seeds, chia, papaya, psyllium husk, which is known as isabgol, aloe vera, again, like I said, magnesium citrate or oxide, digestive enzymes. We do a lot of herbal concoctions, and one of them is a constipation tea. I don't know if any of you have heard of these herbs that you can see. Foods that one might be sensitive to, whether it's gluten, dairy, nuts, whatever, they need to be removed for a small period of time and then brought back in. Acid reflux. It's not because of high acid, it's because of low stomach acid. It's because of overeating, it's because of eating too fast. It can be because of coffee, sugar, chocolate, drugs, refined carbs, smoking, stress, food allergies and sensitivities, H. pylori. I'm sure you've all heard of that bacteria, and interestingly so, we all are meant to have it, just in proper numbers. It's when that goes out of control is when it leads to acid reflux. There are pros and cons to having it and not having it. Parasites, and again, structural issues do matter. Acid reflux, so what can you do? Finish dinner 3 hours before bedtime, chew your food. That's the most important thing. Increase dietary fiber. Probiotics like kefir and kombucha help. Apple cider vinegar, digestive bitters, because bitters stimulate your digestive enzymes. So anything bitter before your meal will always help the food get digested better. Licorice, DGL, HCL and betaine, these are pills for people who really have low stomach acid. Again, we have slippery elm, marshmallow root. These are herbs we use. There's vitamin A, zinc, and raising the head of your bed. Now, I know a lot of people will be saying we are given pills to decrease stomach acid in the body when we suffer from acidity. Why is she saying low stomach acid? Well, it is low stomach acid. If you eat food, there's no stomach acid, your digestive enzymes don't work, the food goes back up. And that is what causes acid reflux. Okay. Bloating, gas, nutritional deficiencies, again, allergies and sensitivities, not enough bile production. You will have fat malabsorption, it will lead to bloating and gas. Lack of digestive enzymes, again, that's a big one. Stress, dysbiosis, which is imbalance in your microbiome. Candida, I'm sure you've all heard of that. Parasites and SIBO. Chew well, that's my recommendation for everything. 32 times a bite. Exercise. There's certain yoga poses like the child pose which help. We have gas tinctures, but again, it's made of herbs. It helps a lot, but it's a band-aid till you solve what's happening. Gluten, dairy, yes, that's, as much as you guys don't like it, that is those are the main culprits. And you need to take them out, for some forever, for some for a while. Digestive enzymes, peppermint oil is a good one. Activated charcoal works for some, as apple cider vinegar. Considering a low FODMAP diet, that's removing certain vegetables that cause gas, like broccoli, from your diet. And again, we have herbal teas. Diarrhea. Again, food sensitivities, IBS, leaky gut. If you have trouble digesting fats, parasites, lack of good bacteria in your body, food poisoning, which ultimately can lead to IBS, viral infections, antibiotics, impaired digestion. Avoid sugar, fat, and dairy. Stay well hydrated. Herbal infusions. There's something known as the brat diet. Probiotics, L-glutamine, bentonite clay, digestive enzymes. Leaky gut. Again, I'm sure you've all heard of leaky gut, and that is when that lining is disrupted. So what's meant to go through the gut? Not the entire chicken or fish you ate. The amino acids are supposed to go in. Now, when pieces of protein start going in, the immune cells are going to be like, hey, this is not meant to be there, and start attacking them. And that's going to cause havoc in your body. I mean, if that becomes chronic, you suffer from leaky gut. Caused by C-section births, frequent antibiotics, poor diet, low fiber, excessive gluten and other grains, drugs, genetics, antacids, chemotherapy, steroids, again, stress as well. Chew well, avoid gluten, sugar, dairy, something known as an elimination diet. Flaxseed helps, bone broth helps. Never eat in a hurry, never. Reduce your stress. Probiotics, aloe vera, L-glutamine is a supplement, digestive enzymes, fermented cod liver oil, vitamin A and D, glutathione, which I'm sure you guys have heard of because it's brilliant for your skin. Ginger, okay, IBS, stress, food allergies, infections, lack of fiber, malabsorption, hormonal imbalances. Again, stress management is very, very important in IBS. Deep breathing, meditation, chewing well is there everywhere because half your problems get solved if you chew well. Avoid in IBS, avoid FODMAP vegetables, raw foods, sugar, caffeine, gluten, dairy. Elimination diet where you mainly avoid gluten, dairy, soya, red meat, peanuts, and shellfish. You slowly add probiotics after cleaning the system. Magnesium is a great supplement, aloe vera juice, and bone broth. And then the last one, I think, is Candida. Again, a high sugar carb diet leads to Candida, impaired digestion, dysbiosis, meaning bad bacteria goes in, an impaired liver, chronic antibiotic use, birth control pills. And then you can see we can do a whole lot. There are lots of herbs. We have a Candida tea with stuff like black walnut, oregano oil. These are all natural antibiotics, anti-fungi, and they help. You avoid yeast. You avoid, sometimes you avoid all grains. There's certain supplements we give you, as you can see. You check for food allergies. You do a low GI diet. So some foods quickly that enhance digestive enzymes naturally instead of you having to take them in a supplement form. There's pineapple, there's mango, there's papaya, there's olive oil and lemon. There's fenugreek, which is methi, and there's cinnamon. These all help you in digesting your food. What about the flow of bile? Well, there's turmeric, there's bitter leafy greens and herbs. Bitter is the best. Celery. So try including before your food, have a little bit of bitter stuff. You can have an apple cider vinegar, you can have lemon water. That helps. Here's a comprehensive list of vitamins associated with digestion: A, B, B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, biotin, folic acid, C, D, E. Magnesium, sodium, potassium, iron, calcium, zinc, iodine, chromium, copper, manganese, selenium, and sulfur. And vitamin B12. These are all very, very important for us. Be present when you eat. Avoid chewing gum. Don't guzzle or drink through a straw. Don't eat fruit at the end of a meal and avoid processed foods. Never eat insoluble fiber, on an empty stomach. Always eat them with other foods. So there's soluble and insoluble fiber. Remove stems and peels from your broccoli, your cauliflower. Always dice, chop, mash, and it's better to steam them or cook them a bit. If you suffer from these, if you can handle raw, good for you. Off the bat, a few ingredients that are good for you. Again, it's bio-individual, is aloe vera, turmeric, bone broth, slippery elm, marshmallow root. Okay, now I'm going to go into some treatments that help with your gut. And something I don't know how many of you have heard of. It's called the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Before, I'm going to introduce you to someone very soon, but before that, quickly, let me introduce these three treatments to you, and then she'll tell you more about it. Hyperbaric oxygen chamber helps reduce inflammation. It promotes intestinal mucosal healing. It improves the supply of oxygen to tissues. It helps prevent colonization of bad bacteria, helps with your immunity, and with diseases like IBD. It sounds like a magic chamber to me. It's basically oxygenating your body. So I'm sure you've heard of this. Then is the photobiomodulation bed. I'm sure you guys have all read about infrared light. how good it is, how we should have infrared saunas. Well, this is a bed, and it goes in, the red light goes in 6 inches deep. It's amazing. It helps with hangovers, with jet lag, with bone healing, with inflammation. It helps with building beneficial bacteria, with sleep quality, which is again very, very good. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it. Sleep is very good for your gut. It's anti-aging. It increases cognitive function. It's very good for people with Parkinson's. It promotes metabolism of short-chain fatty acids, influencing the production of serotonin and dopamine. I don't know how many people of you know about lymphatic issues, but a lymph problem, that is a lymphatic drainage problem, is a gut problem because your toxins are not being drained from your body. And there's something called the body balancer, which helps with lymphatic drainage. Now, I plan to do another talk next month on the lymphatic system, on why it's so important, on why we need to drain it properly, ways we can drain it. I mean, I know dry brushing and all of that, everyone knows that, but there's certain things like choke points which are blocked. If those aren't unblocked, it leads to, so the toxins are just going to go up and down in your body if you're rebounding or if you're dry brushing. So I'm going to go into that later, but what I want to do is I want to tell you that the treatments I just talked about, they are available in Delhi. Again, at Potenza, I'm affiliated with them. I want to turn over to someone I work with and introduce her to you. So I'm turning off this screen share, and she's going to tell you a little bit about these treatments. Gargi?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gargi Sharma. I'm a clinical nutritionist and heading weight management at Potenza Wellness. So we at Potenza provide world-class treatments for like your photobiomodulation bed, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, body balancer to improve your cellular health and overall wellness. So these treatments basically helps in reducing your water retention. They are great for your gut health and reduces inflammation overall in your body. So when combined with a good dietary regime, these treatments helps in improving your overall health. So we look forward to
you all quickly show them.
Yeah, sure. Please.
I want to try and. Can they
so
see?
This is the hyperbaric chamber that Disha just talked about. So it's a 4-seater chamber. You sit inside comfortably, and there are screens inside. You can watch TV. You be comfortable inside. Have a cup of coffee. The second treatment that we were talking about is our photobiomodulation bed. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to. Yeah.
So it's about like 15 to 20 minutes therapy. You just lie down, close the bed, and it provides like 45,000 LED lights.
Hi guys. So there's a lot more in this. The thing is that there's not much you can cover, and you don't know when you're doing one of these how much the people attending know. They're all, some people have some idea, some don't have any idea. So I tried to keep it as basic as possible. Let me go to the chats and the Q&A. Give me a second. What are digestive enzymes? Okay, so your digestive enzymes, your body has enzymes that need to digest your carbohydrates, your proteins and your fats, and they're different for different ones. Sometimes your amylase, lipase, sometimes these are lacking in your body. And what happens is if this is lacking in your body, then you're not going to digest your food properly. So you need to supplement. Okay, if you want to meet me, so if you, if you WhatsApp me, in case this chat box goes, put it out of it. Oh, sorry, I pressed the button. In case the chat box goes, if you just WhatsApp me, it'll be easier for me to send the recording, providing it has been recorded properly. That's the number for Potenza. If you want to make an appointment, if you want to know more, we'll guide you through that. Please feel free to call me also. Please, for rosacea, tell me what you said earlier. So rosacea is because of gut dysfunction. What happens is there's bad bacteria, right? And your nutrients aren't getting absorbed. It's causing also the havoc it causes in your body depends on what kind of dysbiosis you have, what other conditions you have with, what manifests depends entirely on your body alone. I can have dysbiosis and get rheumatoid arthritis because a certain strain is more in my body. You might suffer from skin conditions, and if your body is not absorbing these nutrients, then these things happen. Again, for things like rosacea and stuff, I need to sit with you to be able to tell you properly. That's how my consults work. I need to sit with you and go through your history, go through everything from the time you were born to what you're doing now, and then we formulate. It is a lifestyle change. It's definitely a menu change. And again, we do a lot of supplements. We do a lot of probiotic foods if you're interested. Again, you just need to WhatsApp me. Medical mushrooms, if you heard about them, kefir, kombucha, dairy free, a lot of other stuff. A lot of you know that because you've been taking those stuff from me. Please guide about what probiotics to use during pregnancy. Again, I don't know your individual case, so I can't guide you, but doctors today have become aware. So why don't you speak to your gynecologist? She will be able to better guide you what to have, because each condition is different. And it totally depends. I don't want to, especially when you're pregnant, tell you to have something without knowing your full condition. Can a messed up gut be reversed? Bad gut maybe due to illness? Yes. A lot of times, yes. It's hard work. It's a slow process. So you're not going to see magical results in a week. You need to have a lifestyle change. And over time, as it starts getting better, things can be reversed. Having said that, certain things can't be. Certain things need to be managed. So it completely depends. And that again depends on you as an individual. To get a consult from me again, write the number again. There you go. Just WhatsApp me on this and we can fix it. That's the easiest way we can do it. Okay, I'm going to try and see. And the question, repeat what you shared about eczema in spite of not having gut issues. I don't understand the question, Hema. Okay, if you have eczema, you have gut issues. So you might not have symptoms like bloating, acid reflux, or but you do. If you have eczema, you have. Why can't people see the number? They can't see the number.
We'll see.
Sorry, is
We are
not.
sending the back end team is sending.
Okay, they'll just write it on the chat. Okay, the back end. I don't know why you can't see what I'm typing. 98100 46966. Send Potenza's number also. Do you want me to read it out? Okay, they're sending it on the chat. I don't know why my chats are not going through, considering I'm the host. Okay. If you have eczema, you have a gut dysfunction. You just don't have the symptoms. Even rheumatoid arthritis. So you can have a bacteria in your body that feeds off of gluten and leads to rheumatoid arthritis 10 years later. These strains, the things they can do and the things they can cause in the number is vast. So there are a lot of my comprehensive stool tests that are coming around that do give you a lot of insight into it. And those really help. But what I like to start with is, instead of wasting money doing 100 tests, I'd rather you sit with me, give me your history. Based on that, you listen to your body. If you're if you're highly sensitive to something, you will know. Chances are you might not, because you're too used to feeling that way. What happens with gluten, a lot of people turn around and say that, I don't want to leave gluten because if I leave it, my body stops being used to it. That's ridiculous. For example, smoking. If you smoke, say 10 cigarettes a day, are you going to get that head rush every time? No. If you give up smoking and pick up a cigarette after 3 days, are you going to get that head rush? Yes. Was it harmful for you then? Or is it more harmful for you now? It's harmful for you either ways. So the degree of harm doesn't change. Just your body had started getting better. Anyways. So let me again check. Is there any... Okay, so they're writing their number and my number. And I think I have... If you guys have any questions, let me know. Because I'm just going to go through the one new message. Oh, that must be Bhavna. My name. Okay. Can you type my name? My name is Disha Jolly. You can reach me on WhatsApp. That's the easiest way. On Instagram, my handle is Disha's Functional Foods. What other way to reach me? I think these are the best ways: WhatsApp and Instagram. So if everyone's done, I'm just going to check Q&A again. I'm going to go off. And yes, thank you for joining me. And I will be hosting another one for lymphatic drainage, for glymphatic and lymphatic drainage, which is drainage of your body and your brain, next month. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Bye-bye.